Hey there, it's Rich Lawson here from BorrowBox, and I'm delighted to be able to bring you this video walkthrough on product listing optimization. If you're watching this video and you haven't got the PDF guide, the link is coming up on the screen now, and if you go there, it will divert you to a Google link, to this Google link, where you can view the PDF. It's completely free of charge. Okay, so here's that URL. Okay, so product listing optimization. This video is going to be, it's not going to be a short video, but it is going to be a complete walkthrough of the whole of this guide, so that when you're referencing it and actually doing the product listing optimization on your own products, you'll know exactly what it means and how important it really is to you. So, in a nutshell, product listing optimization is a way of helping more shoppers find your products, and then more of those people, in terms of a higher percentage, buy your products quicker than you can say, shut up and take my money. Okay, so this guide is for anybody who wants to increase their online food and drink sales without having to spend any more money whatsoever. This guide is going to show you how to optimize your product listings, whether they're on BorrowBox, on your own website, on other websites, or on social media, and you should do them all. Although obviously I'm coming at this from the point of view of BorrowBox, but you should certainly do these things on your own website too. When you optimize your product listings, more people will see your products, and a higher percentage of those people will buy your product. In other words, more sales, more revenue, and more profits. And the best news is that you only have to optimize your products once. You continue to reap the benefit for months and years to come. Most people who are selling online don't even need to know that they don't even know that they need to optimize their product listings, let alone how to do it to get good results. And that means that you can quickly get ahead of competition. And while they're standing around scratching their heads, wondering what's going on and why their sales are dropping, your sales will continue to grow without any further effort. So, quick results is what we're all after. The best way to consume this, now you're watching this video, watch it till the end, understand what you've got to do, create a product action plan, and get going. Okay, so it's important that you take action. There's a big warning here, there are some potential pitfalls that might prevent you from getting the results that you deserve. I want to get them out of the way and cover them now so that you can recognize when one of these things are happening to you. I really don't want you to miss out on the benefits of product listing optimization. So pitfall number one is never getting started. A lot of people who listen to this video and invest the time won't ever actually get started. There'll be 1,000,001 reasons, but ultimately life will get in the way, and in the not too distant future, when it's the slower months again, they'll be asking themselves the same old question they ask every time it gets slow: how can I get more sales? And here are the top excuses that people will make, either consciously or subconsciously, which will sabotage them before they even get going. So the first one is not believing that product listing optimization works. I can assure you that it does. We get good results. Just because something is simple to understand doesn't mean that it isn't effective. And this is one of the most effective things that you can do, for reasons that will become 100% evident to you as I work through this video alone. Next reason people don't get started is not believing that product listing optimization will work for them. I've yet to come across the product it doesn't work for. If you think you've got it, get a hold of me. I'll give you my email address in a second, and I will tell you whether or not I think that it will work for you. Lastly, one of the other reasons that people won't get started is thinking that it's a lot of work or too much trouble. In other words, they're not placing enough value on the process of optimization in the first place. Look, there's no way around it. You have to do the work. If you don't understand the value of the work, I can understand that. And even worse, it's not for an immediate benefit in most cases. But I can tell you that typically people who do this, who go through this exercise, get about a 1.5 times increase, a 50% increase in sales over a 12-month period compared to the previous 12 months. Some products that we've had have gone on to 4, 5, 6 times or more sales. It just depends on the exact product. I can't give you an individual answer, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it is worth it. And the last reason that people never get started is because they don't understand something. If you don't understand something, email me, rich@borrowbox.com, ask me. I'll do the best, answer the question to the best of my abilities. And it might be that I need to update the guide as well, so that everyone else can follow along in future. Pitfall number 2 is not creating a product action plan. If you don't do it, you're probably not going to benefit. And it's because this process seems simple and you'll start with the best intentions. But like anything, if you haven't got a plan to keep going and do that bit each day that you need to do, you will get distracted by 1,001 other things. And these efforts will fall by the wayside, half completed. Just create a plan. You can create one that suits you and your business. It doesn't matter how much time you have each day, but just put the plan into action, okay? So just create the plan. And pitfall number 3 is not finishing, giving up after getting started. Look, the results that you see are going to kick in after the first few months and build from there. You might see some small improvements quite quickly, but this is extremely unlikely, okay? So the chances are you won't see small improvements. You'll understand why when I go through the next section, the introduction of what we're actually doing here. But just bear in mind, it's probably going to take some time, and that's why you need the plan to just keep going through all your products and then evaluate on a quarterly basis thereafter, okay? We'll go through that. Okay, so let's just start right at the core basics. There are just 2 things which really affect your sales on our marketplace, on your website or anywhere online. And that is the number of people who view your offer, and then the percentage or the number of people who view your offer that then decide to buy. So if you can increase, before I go to that, let's make sure we're clear on what we want to achieve with respect to both of these. So the number of people that view your offer, you might think that you want as many people as possible to see your offer, but you don't. What you really want is people who stand at least some chance of eventually buying to view your offer. And one of the best types of potential buyer or lookers or offer viewers that you can get is someone who searched on Google and clicked on your product page link in the search results. And that's because nobody searches for something that they aren't looking for. They're obviously interested in what it is that you're selling. So, to increase the number of people who click on your product page link, your result in Google search results, you need to do 2 things. First of all, you obviously need to appear in the search results when someone performs a relevant search in Google. And secondly, you need to entice people to click on your product link in the search results and not somebody else's. So, whether there's a number of ways that you can do that. Obviously, being closer to the top is better, number 1 being best. But it's not just about being number 1. It's about making your listing noticeable and stand out in the right ways so that people are drawn to it and click on it, okay? So that's those things. So that's how we're going to get more people to view your offer. And then the second thing, the number of people who view your offer that decide to buy. And I want you to pay special attention to this section because it's really vital that you understand the mindset of a potential buyer. I think a lot of this gets lost when we start talking about technologies and how we list things and whether we're in Google and all of this sort of stuff. You still need to understand the conscious and unconscious mindset of somebody who is going to land on your page. So let's go through it and make sure that we're clear of what's going on. When people view your product online, on your product page, on BorrowBox, for example, they have a single decision to make. They can either buy your product or they can choose not to buy. So if the shopper, the potential buyer, chooses not to buy, they face the consequence of having to spend more time continuing their search for the product that will satisfy their needs. Okay? And that means that a potential buyer arrives on your product page mentally prepared to end their search and buy your product. They don't really want to continue searching, because what people are looking for then is a reason not to buy. Because if they can discover the reason not to buy quickly, it means they can move on with their search, and that way they waste the least amount of time possible. So the best way that you can think of this is to imagine the shopper is on a road which ends with them buying your product. If there are any barriers along the road, they will stop the sale, or probably stop the sale. And barriers include things like price, and not for the reason that most people think. A lot of sellers think that they need the lowest possible price. You don't, okay? It's not usually because of whether your product is worth the cost. If the price is not in their range of expectation, they probably won't buy your product. And that's good news, because it means you can probably increase your price without it affecting the amount of sales that you get for the traffic that you get, okay, for the visitors that you get. Another barrier is shipping cost. Let's face it, everyone, you and I included, hate to pay shipping because we see it as dead money. The next one is incomplete information. So in this barrier, it's just about a buyer needing to know something about your product. So for example, if they have an allergy to gluten and they aren't sure if your product is gluten-free, they'll simply move on to another product. And the reason that they'll do that, because it's quicker than them going to our contact page, making an inquiry about XYZ product and asking if it's gluten-free. Why bother when they can go to and find another product and waste less time, because there's no loyalty in what they're doing. You just need to make sure these barriers are removed. Next barrier is an ugly image. I mean, forget products. Most people won't buy food or drink if it doesn't look very appealing. Okay, so that's what that's really saying. And the last one, I've used an extreme, or not the last one, but a big barrier that people don't really think about too much, is not meeting the buyers or potential buyers' expectations. And this example is a bit black and white, but this happens in a lot of shades of grey, and you might not realize that these things are going on. You need to have a look at what it is that you're claiming, and then what it is that you've actually got for sale. So let's go through the example. Pretend somebody searches Google for cheese and wine hamper. The potential buyer in their head is imagining a basket with cheddar and red wine, and they just typed cheese and wine hamper into Google. But if your hamper is white wine and camembert, then they'll probably leave and look at something else, because it's not really what they were after, although you might stand a chance of the occasional person buying because they were looking for cheese and wine hamper. It's just much more likely that they'll click the back button, or they'll go and try and find one that more matches their expectations. So the process of product listing optimization just removes as many of these barriers as we possibly can. So let's talk now then about how we're going to optimize your product listings. There's lots of different areas that we look at, but we've already taken care of on the BorrowBox website. So there's really just 5 key areas that you need to pay attention to: images, titles, descriptions, price, and shipping. So before we go into all of these, and I'm going to show you how you maximize all of these for the best returns, I'm also going to, when I talk about each of these 5 things, I'm going to cover the things that we're really concerned with, which is Google ranking, appearing in the Google search results, getting somebody to click your link, your product page in the Google search results, so click through, and then buyer conversion, which is making the sale. So Google ranking, click through, and buyer conversion, or very simply, rank, click, convert. So that's how I'm going to talk about, I'm going to break down each of these 5 points. Once I show you how to do all of this, I'll show you how to create your product action plan. so that you aren't overwhelmed and that you start to reap the benefits as soon as possible. So the reason that I said that you probably won't get very quick results is when you optimize your listing, Google will take some time to update its systems and rank you in the search engines. So while that's waiting to happen, you're obviously, if you're not in the search results, you're not going to get click-through and you're not going to get buyer conversion. So that piece of the puzzle has to fall in place first. If you're already getting a decent amount of traffic to your products, then optimizing it will have an immediate effect, because you will increase the percentage amount of people that are buying your products through the process of the optimization that we're about to do. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, let's crack on. So images. Images are a vital part of all food and drink sales. Let's have a look how they impact the three areas. So with Google ranking, page speed is really key when it comes to ranking in the search engines. All users, everybody, me, you, everybody likes web pages to load fast. If they're slow, a lot of us choose to just go to another website. So Google rewards faster pages by ranking them higher. And one of the biggest causes of slow loading pages are large file size images. There are two things you need to do with every image: resize and optimize. On the BorrowBox website, you want to resize your images to around about 600 by 600 or close to this number if your images aren't square. Elsewhere, on other websites, and depending on the shape of their images and things like that, it's really not a problem if your image is 700 by 400 and 900 by 300 or whatever it is. You're just looking to reduce it if it's more than, say, 1000 by 1000, and that's in pixels. And just as an example, if you take pictures on a newer iPhone, the image sizes can be as much as 3000 by 4000 pixels. And that size of image and the quality that gets taken on an iPhone just would significantly slow down a web page. So don't worry if you're not familiar with the term PX. It just means pixels, and they're just the scale, or one of the scales we use it to measure images. You can resize an image online here at this place, pickresize.com. If for some reason after I record this video, pick resize disappears and it's been replaced by something else, just go to Google and search for resize an image online free. Okay, optimizing your images. All digital images can be compressed into smaller file sizes, and it's really simple to do this with something called TinyPNG. Just go to the website tinypng.com, link is here, and follow their instructions. Super simple process. Usually gets rid of 70-80% of file sizes, so it's well worth doing. Okay, now let's talk about product images that convert browsers into buyers. In an ideal world, you want to use professionally shot images for your food and drink products. And if you're a serious food and drink seller, then obviously at some point you'll need to invest in a photo shoot. Just try a few photographers, commit to the one who will do your whole range that you like. And as long as you get it right, that's all a great process. Obviously choose somebody with experience and check their portfolio first. If you haven't got, the funds for professionally shot images, there's a number of different processes you can use. But here's a way that you can get decent enough product images at a low cost. So go to Google and search for products similar to yours. Find product images click the images tab at the top of Google, find product images that you like and save them. Either save them on your phone, your computer, or use something like Pinterest and organize them into a board. Okay. Go to fiverr.com. So that's this link here. So Fiverr is a freelancing outsource site for what they call gigs. So people will do some work for you for $5 and up. Okay, so search for product images, get a hold of a seller you like the look of, just message them, ask them what type of image they would want you to take on your phone so they can make an image look like the one that you want or close to it. Maybe do one test one or a couple of test ones, make sure you're happy, agree the work, and get them to include the size and optimization work that I've already mentioned, and just order the gig and get your chosen seller to do the work that you need. And that will be a very inexpensive way to get good quality, consistent images that you're looking for. Okay, you need to do that with all images all the time, wherever they're going, except you don't need to resize and optimize for Facebook. Although if you do, it will mean that you might as well, rather than upload the old one. But Facebook and some of the other social platforms have some inbuilt things that do that already. Okay. Product page optimization. Now with images out of the way, we've got to make sure that the rest of the page is completely done. In practice, you'll probably do all the product page optimization work first and then do the images. Don't worry. I'm just going through this in the order that I think is easiest for you to understand. Obviously create a product action plan, and then you can go from there, and we'll get to that later. But we've got 4 things left to do. And the first one is your product title. And this is crucial to a whole heap of things. So the first things that you want to do to get a good product title is gather all the information regarding your product. Okay, what is it? What's it made of? What shape or color is it? What is it for? Who is it for? What makes it special? Why would they want it? When will they use it? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so just make a list of things. If you follow Google guidelines, you'll see that they recommend to follow this pattern. But on your own website and BorrowBox, you won't want to include your brand at the beginning, okay? It's not going to be good for you. For food and drink, your product title is going to follow this formula. Who? Possibly, so you don't have to have it in, but that's where you put it if you're putting it. Then the product type, and then the attributes. So here's an example. Imagine you make chocolate brownies for vegans. Your product title will look something like this. So vegan, that's who it's for. Vegan, chocolate brownies, that's what it is. And then it's a 12-bar gift set is the attributes. So it's really simple to do. And you don't want to, I'll cover some more on product titles in a second. Let's have a look how product titles impact the 3 areas that we're concerned with. Google ranking. Okay. If you name your product something that nobody searches for and use it as a product title, then there's no point, because if no one ever searches for it, you're never going to get any traffic, even if you rank extremely high for whatever it is that you've named your product. So you need to think what people might type in if they're looking for your type of products. Here's an example, Summer Selection Pack, yeah, which I've seen as a name on our products on our site on BorrowBox. It doesn't tell me anything. It's highly unlikely anyone will ever type that into Google either. The pack could be a pack of barbecue sauces or spice rubs, or it could be a box of ice creams, and you would not know from the title. If you stick with the formula I showed you, and you happen to sell vegan brownies in a pack that you called Summer Selection, here's what you would do. You would say vegan chocolate brownies 12-bar Summer Selection pack. Okay, that's how you would do it. Click-through. We might not always be number 1 in the search results, but if we're somewhere close to the top, we can improve our chances of being clicked on if we stand out in the right way. So when it comes to food and drink product titles, just by adding the attributes, you will stand out from the competition. And the good news is that food and drink attributes are largely a matter of taste. They're nowhere near as restrictive as size and color, for example, in clothing. You can use words like delicious, fruity, luxury, decadent, etc. And then let's have a look at how we can make things stand out. If we look at a group of product titles in the search engines, this is kind of what happens. You get this one that stands out, vegan chocolate brownies, 12 luxury bars. The 12 bars is an attribute. The luxury is the matter of taste, but it implies something better than just vegan chocolate brownies. I could have just easily have written vegan chocolate brownies 12-bar indulgence gift set. Okay, and what I'm trying to show you here is it's not the exact words that you use. Here early on, you want to stick to the exact formula that I've given you, who plus the actual product. But standing out from the crowd and giving people a reason is just a way of enticing them, and that's exactly how you do it. People are much more, why would you want just normal vegan chocolate brownies when you can have luxury ones? Okay. Buyer conversion. When you use the correct formula for your product titles, you're describing what you're selling more accurately. So when a shopper actually clicks on your link, they're much more likely to buy because they know exactly what they're expecting. And I want to cover a final example just to make sure this is really sunk in. Imagine somebody has typed in vegan sweets into Google, okay? And there's only two results. There is this vegan sweet selection pack and vegan chocolate brownies, 12 bars of rich indulgence. Now, when the shopper clicks on the first one, the vegan sweet selection pack, which they might do, they don't really know what to expect. It could be a huge pack of sweets that costs £65, or it could be a set of 3 bags of, normal vegan sweets for £9.99. Who knows what to expect? They might take a look, but only some people will buy because their expectation of what they were going to get doesn't quite match with what they had in their mind. Now, imagine the contrast in the shopper who clicks vegan chocolate brownies, 12 bars of rich indulgence. They know exactly what they're clicking for and exactly what to expect, and they are much more likely to buy. Okay, so that's the title. The next thing we need to do is optimize the page meta description. And the meta description is a description that appears underneath the product link in Google. So you can have a look in every time you do a Google search, they're there. And here's a quick example. This is the product title. This is the URL. This bit here is the meta description. Okay, it's not the same as the description on the page. Although sometimes Google experiments with this. I'm going to tell you how you do it, but I will let you know Google does experiment with it. They change the length of it, and they also pull data from the page and replace the meta description where they think it's appropriate. There's nothing you can do about that. It's obviously entirely up to Google what they put in their search results. While we're here on Google, though, I just want to let you know that there's a couple of things that we do for products. Is we mark up our website so that it actually tells people the price and the availability on the Google search engine results. So when people click, they're not getting a shock from the amount of money that they may have to spend because it was there in the search results in the first place. Okay, so just a couple of little things that are proven to help shoppers make that decision to buy. Okay, let's go back to the meta description. So just work with 300 characters, including spaces. And remember, you're not trying to make the sale with this description. You're trying to accurately depict to somebody why they would want your product and at the same time entice them. The easiest way to think about this is to come up with a problem and turn that into a question or an answer. So just sticking with the spice gift type of thing, you could say, buying a gift for a curry lover, the Belbeer Singh Spice gift set comes with everything they need to make restaurant quality curries at home. Free shipping for first time orders. It's just an example. This is just purely an example. Here's the formula. You introduce a problem or a question, you bring out the solution or the answer, and then you put a call to action on the end. Okay, and this is my free shipping for first time orders is a thing that's making them come now. Okay, let's talk about how the meta description impacts the 3 areas. So Google ranking, it's not just your product title that determines if you rank for a search term. The words in your meta description and also actually in your short and long descriptions that we're going to come to later can also be added to words in your product title. And here's an example. Let's say I put this as my product title. Mrs. Balbir Singh Spice Gift Set makes 120 curries. And here's my meta description. Then if a shopper searched for this curry lover spice set, we would stand a chance of ranking in Google because we've got the word spice and the word set in our title, and we have the word curry lover quite close to the beginning of our meta description. Okay, so we would stand a chance of ranking for that exact search term. Let's talk about it from click-through. So what you say to somebody needs to entice them to click. This is in the meta description. And you should do everything that you can to remove any possible barriers that you've got and get the click. So let's take a look at the example that I've got. So I've got this buying a gift for a curry lover thing that I've just read out, and it's only 182 characters. So what I can do is I can go right the way up to 300, and I just want to make sure I get this on the same page. Here's my new one. Buying a gift for a curry lover. The Mrs. Balbir Singh Spice gift set comes with everything they need to easily make restaurant quality curries at home. Pack of 5 airtight metal spice tins showcased in a beautiful presentation gift case with easy to follow recipe cards. Free shipping. Okay, so that's how much room you've got. If this is a gift set, then what people really want to know is not is it in their price range, but does it look more expensive than what they're paying for it? How does it look on them as they're giving it as a gift? Okay, so it's not just whether or not it's worth the money. So I'm answering that and saying, hey, look, it looks generous. It's got 5 airtight metal spice tins. So I'm saying that it's metal, and it's showcased in a beautiful presentation gift case. And I've added more value because I've said it's got easy to follow recipe cards. So I'm trying to remove some of the barriers to the person clicking and stack the value of the price. And you want to do the same thing in your meta descriptions. So that's actually only 289 characters. As I said, most people when they buy gifts want the gift to look like it's worth more than they paid for it. Okay, that's what most people want with gifts, and as well as all the other things. But it's one of the considerations. And I just added the words necessary to make everything sound easy. Have a think to yourself. What do I think? Does this help the shopper? And does it incentivize them to click? Would it incentivize you to click? How can you write something to describe it? And that's why it's important at the beginning to get all the information about your product together. Okay, buyer conversion. The same principle that worked for the product title works for the meta description. Because you're accurately describing your product and at the same time presenting it in the best possible light, when the shopper lands on your product page, you will have them feeling like they've landed on what it was they clicked on. And that's what everybody wants when they're on the net. They want to know where they're going to end up when they click. Okay, step number 3 is we need to optimize the product description. So this is nothing to do with the Google search results. This is on the product page, and most e-commerce platforms and marketplaces have a short description and a long description. Okay, and we do on BorrowBox as well. The short description. When someone arrives on your product page, they are looking to see if your product is reasonably close to what it is they're looking for. The shopper might not have come from Google, so your short description can be identical or almost identical to your meta description. You just have to make sure that it makes sense. For example, if you wrote click and order the best gin gift in the UK on your meta description, the words click and won't make sense on the actual product page. So you want enough information in this short description for people to be able to order without having to read the long description if they're able to, but at least making them want to read the long description if that's not achievable. It's well worth mentioning free shipping if you have it, or the free shipping amount, minimum amount, in the short description. But what you really want is you want the shopper to be interested enough to read your long description, and that's your real opportunity to show them that your product is ideal for them. So, the long description. In the long description, you want to put as much information as you possibly can. If you aren't good at writing, ask for help from someone. The way that I found this easiest to do is to ask myself a set of questions and note my answers. Okay? I'll give you the questions in a second, which you can use as a starting point. If you're not comfortable writing, use a voice recorder or a voice recorder app. Record yourself and send it off to a transcription service. They don't charge very much, and if you don't like writing, you'll get it back, and then you can even go to Fiverr and ask somebody to make it sound good for a product description. Okay, so here's my list of questions that you can use as a starting point. Obviously add more. I hardly ever see products with too much information, so say as much as you want without repeating yourself, because if somebody is interested, they'll read every word of your description. So, here it is. What is this? What's it made of? In other words, the ingredients. What shape or color is it? What is it for? Who is it for? What makes it special? Is it allergy free? When will I get it if I order? How is it packaged? Can I order now for a future date? Is it suitable for? And then in there, this question can just keep going on. Is it suitable as a gift for new parents? Is it suitable for vegans? Is it suitable to, last 4 weeks? Is it suitable for a wedding? Is it suitable for my mom? Whatever those questions are. So you want to answer, and you want to answer this honestly. Like if you're selling like vegan food, the truth is, because it's labeled vegan, a lot of carnivores won't eat it, okay, just because it's labeled vegan. So you don't want to waste your time writing for people who might not be vegan, who are reading your description. You want to write this for the 80% of the people who are vegans that buy it, the majority of people that you're writing for, and you want to write it only for them, okay? So for example, if you're selling, chocolate with in a pink box with chocolates, and it's really made as a gift for her, then don't advertise it as a gift for a man or say, it's perfect for him or her, because the truth is it probably isn't. Okay, let's talk about descriptions from the 3 things. So with Google ranking, the more information that you provide your shopper, the better. The same for Google, okay? More information means that they can more correctly rank your product where it's appropriate to do so. Click-through. People are already on your page and they won't see the long description unless they're interested. The click-through that you're looking for is the add to cart button, and you still need to have 0 barriers. The buyer conversion. If you don't answer all of the buyer's questions, they won't be able to buy your product. It's as simple as that, okay? So I know that's quite quick, but your description needs to be everything, and you need to ensure that you get rid of any barriers that people might have. And as I say, if you're not good at writing, find a way to get it done by somebody else. Let's talk about price. It's worth making your product underneath a whole left digit. So if you've currently got a product at £20.99, there's a psychologically proven result of more sales if you make it £19.99. Okay, just because it makes that left digit a 1 instead of a 2. That makes a big difference. And equally, The inverse is true. There's not much difference in conversion between £17.99 and, say, for example, £19.99. So if you are selling a product at £16.99, £17.99, try putting your prices up £1 or £2 and seeing if it actually does affect your conversions. It probably won't, okay? So Google ranking. At the moment, price is not a ranking factor with Google. Okay, so it doesn't make any difference what it costs. That does not determine whether or not you rank in Google or not. As I showed you before, we display the prices of products in Google search results because it helps you stand out. And it's not the price that determines a click or a buy, but it does give people a ballpark figure. If your shopper wants to buy a gift for about 50 quid and they see your product is in the ballpark at 58, then it's likely to help you get a click. Equally, if somebody's looking for something about 15 quid and you've got something there at £65, they might not click, and that might put them off, but at least we've saved them time. But if they do click, they know that it's £65 right from the start, so they're just wanting to see why, and you still stand a chance of making the sale. So it's better to be transparent and help people find what they're looking for more quickly. And in terms of buyer conversion, price isn't as much of a conversion stopper as sellers think. As I said, you can probably put your prices up a little without any impact on sales whatsoever. But shipping is a different matter altogether, okay? And that's our next section. So everyone hates paying shipping. It's as simple as that. And what you need to do is whatever you can do to reduce your shipping costs for customers, do it. Even if there's a minimum order amount, it's better than just having high price shipping costs. Nearly all of the shopping carts that get abandoned on the BorrowBox website get abandoned at the shipping stage, okay? And there's a lot of them. Google ranking. Shipping has no effect on Google ranking. Click-through. Shipping has no effect on click-through except if you can mention free shipping like I did in the example earlier. Buyer conversion. Shipping has a huge impact on whether people complete checkout. Everyone, and I mean everyone, hates paying for any shipping whatsoever. Everyone views it as an increase in the cost of the product. They feel like they're being deceived if, you know, they see a product online at £50 with free shipping and your product's £47 with, you know, £6 shipping, so you're more expensive. And they think you're being deceitful because you advertised at a lower price. There's a whole world of pain around shipping, okay? And most people view shipping as an increase in the cost of the product. So it's particularly bad if you've got a lower priced item that's a bit bulkier. So for example, if someone buys a luxury hamper for £195, they're not going to worry too much about paying £5 shipping costs. Although I know in truth, we would just be absorbing that cost in the luxury hamper. It would be a free shipping item. But imagine if you're buying something for £12 and then the shipping's £6.80. That will probably put most people off, I'll be honest with you. It just will. Okay, so finding this balance is difficult. And I'd encourage you to do whatever you can do to reduce shipping costs or perceived shipping costs for your buyers. So now you know what you need to do. It's vital that you create a product action plan. And I want you to just remember that the first couple of times that you do you optimize a product listing, it's going to take you far longer than when you've done it a few times. Okay, so don't be put off if something takes you a long time the first time or second time that you do it. I promise it gets really quick, and you kind of get into a knack for it. Okay, so here's how I recommend that you do it. Plan a 60-minute slot, a whole hour, where you just do a single product. And what I recommend you do is pick your lowest selling product while you practice, okay? And it is going to take you 60 minutes to do the first product. if you haven't done this before, you're not particularly good at it, I want you to get the first product done, okay? If after 60 minutes you haven't finished and you can't carry on until you have finished, plan in another 60 minutes the following day and finish the one product that you've done. And keep going until you finish that one product, even if it takes you 5 days, 60 minutes a day for that first product. The reason that I've said that is you have to ask yourself the necessary questions that you're going to ask yourself, write down your answers, get all the information together, and you've got to resize and optimize image files and everything else, okay? I just want you to do one product all the way from start to finish, because you're going to come across little things, you're going to struggle uploading your image or whatever, right? It's just going to take some time. I'm just being realistic with you. Okay, once you finish one product, just stop for that day. Okay, and then what I want you to do is the next day, I want you to plan in 60 minutes for your second product. You should, in the 60 minutes the following day, be able to do that product within 60 minutes. Okay, just make sure you finish it. If it takes you 60 minutes and then you've got to do another 60 minutes the next day, that's fine. You'll have done 2 products, okay? And I promise you, once you've done 2 products, yeah, or possibly 3, so if you want one more full run through, do another product. So you've done 3 products. So even if that takes you an hour a day for 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever to get the 3 products done, then do that. Just do it on your 2 or 3 lowest selling products. Right, now I want you to work out how much time that you have each week, because although you've done a whole product from start to finish, it's far easier and more time efficient to chunk together repetitive tasks, okay? So what I mean is to resize a few images at the same time rather than just one at a time. So it's easier to do the questions for a few products at a time and then do all the titles and descriptions and then do all the image resizing and optimizing. But you also want to make sure you get some results. So what you don't want to do is spend the next 3 months doing all of your, product titles and descriptions, or all of your questions and answers, and then have to do another 3 months of titles and descriptions. I don't know how many products you've got, but I'd recommend you just do 3 products at a time at first. So do the questions for all 3 products, then do the written work, and then do the image work. If you can, get into a habit of doing 3 products each week. Before you know it, you'll have worked through a ton of products, okay? So if you are, if you did that for a year, you would do 150 products. If you've got more than 150 products, you probably need to employ somebody on a temporary basis to do a lot of the donkey work for you, okay? But 3 products each week. And if you really want to, because it fits your schedule, schedule in a chunk of 5 hours to work on your product optimization. But only once you've done at least 1 product from start to finish. I need you to go through all the pain points and then do it a second time so you realize that you can do it more quickly. Okay? So it's really simple to do. It makes such a difference. And the truth is that you can get an average, and I'm really confident saying this, you can reasonably expect to get a 50% increase in sales in your first 12 months having done this. And that has to be worth it. Okay, I'm Rich Lawson. I hope you found this useful. The URL again for the guide, just in case you haven't got it yet, you go there, you can download it from Google Drive. You can put it onto your phone and read it in things like iBooks or whatever the Android version of that is. If you need some help or you've got a question, email me, rich@burrowbox.com, and I'd be delighted to try and shed any light on any problems that you might be having. Good luck, and until next time.